Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode number 60. I'm AJ.
And I'm Steve.
Steve, who are we brought to you today by?
Apparently a 0 to 60 time of 27 months and an 11-year-old laptop. Behold, the new CBGPod looker-upper thingy.
Because it's a little bit far away. I mean, I could bring the keyboard over here, but then I'm not going to have any room
I'd assume not try to do your research on the same thing recording stuff because that desktop is still older than that thing is.
That's true.
So
and
minor
still
detail.
Alive and kicking.
Still trucking. You know, if it sees use once a week, that might much easier for it.
True. Well, Steve, what are we drinking today in honor of Cinco de Mayo?
Espolón, 100% pure agave, tequila reposado.
Which means rested.
Reserved.
It's been aged.
My Spanglish isn't good, sir.
Reposado tequila is aged anywhere from 2 months to 12. The 12's really expensive. That's 6 months, and that's not really expensive. I think it was $27.
Nice.
It's supposed to have vanilla and toffee notes.
Interesting.
That's why I bought it.
So, should I tell the people about whatever it says on the back of this? Because it actually had to tell the tale.
Yes. Tell the tale.
Handcrafted in Los Altos, the highlands region of Jalisco, El Espolón reveals the essence of Mexico. Mexico? I ain't feeling that fancy.
You do what you do, boo-boo.
Not much, you. At its core is the spirit of iconic rooster, a symbol synonymous with Mexico's proud history, and the best AIC song. Our tequila is a tribute to the Mexican artists who inspired the world with their true portrayals of the rich, storied culture of Mexico. El Espolón takes you to where people celebrate everyday life, and it pours you into the heart of real Mexico.
I'm looking forward to this. Cheers. Doink.
Salud.
Cheers, Mike. That's a damn good tequila.
Wow.
Is that going to convert you, though?
It will convert me on this particular one.
That's a damn good tequila.
That is fantastic.
I like that. We're going to crack that open later, but we're also drinking a Monumento Cerveza, which is what it says. Steve, where'd you get this from?
This is from Lidl.
Okay. Well,
I found this at the Monroe Road Lidl because your beer selection's bouncing cheap German grocery store to cheap German grocery store very wildly.
Monroe.
Yes, I like that one too. Yeah, this is $6 for a 6-pack.
That tastes like Dos Equis, the regular, not the amber.
Yeah, well, that doesn't suck for that price.
Yeah, that's true.
That is delicious.
There we go. You knocked it into the next time zone when you did that.
Bollocks. So it's on Pacific time, much like that computer is.
Yeah, something like that. That's a great all around just outdoor chill beer.
And here we are boiling inside instead. Whoops.
Not really. Brought my biggest fan. Well, Steve, do we delve into some beer news, or do you have anything about the car? You've done some repairs to the car.
Yes. So I still have yet to install the fog lights to replace the mirrors, but in the meantime, I pulled off the offending mirror, but at least have the wings fanned back out. Mm-hmm. So one of these days I'll actually swap that out, swap those in. Did a few cigarette burn repairs. Simply looking up that if you happen to have some sort of carpet matching what it is, you can at least de-beige where it had been burned. So it ain't pretty, but it works.
There you go.
Install the seat covers, have gone completely nuts with the extra storage in the car. So it has not one, not two, but 3 visor holders like I had in the Vibe.
How's the weight? Does it sag a little bit? Or?
They're staying up, and they actually stayed up well in the Vibe too.
Okay.
And each of the seat backs has a carrier in it, one of which has a tray table for making the tiniest aircraft possible.
That's hilarious, that a Scion.
I found that at Ollie's for $8, and that was one of ones. Like, I've already got a lot of these. By the way, if you want one, it's yours. It's blue.
I never have any passengers in the Jeep, and I definitely don't have any passengers now. In another car. It's sold.
But it's, that's going to be your big news in a moment. But now I'll just have even more spaces to lose stuff in the car. I'm sure I already told you about the trunk.
Yep.
That was a Sterilite 2x2x3 box to live in the back. So if I need to just pick that up and out to clear it out. There it is. All the mess is in one swell box. Also picked up a trunk mount at Ollie's for $10. They charged me $10 for it because they couldn't find it in the computer. There was no price tag on it. There was no identification on it. It was just... I went looking through the rug section trying to see, all right, which one of these things could I go cut up? And then having to look through automotive, and they had this one thing in there. Like, this is perfect. So I've had entirely too much fun hacking that up with a box knife to make that mostly fit in place. I don't think I've shown that to you yet. Or the remnants thereof in the little cubby holes beside here and there. I've been very creative in quarantine, mostly this hacking stuff up.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And also getting bitten by the dog yesterday. Damn it, Sydney.
Aw, play bite, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
If you have the squeaky toy, she wants her damn squeaky toy.
Don't we all?
Yes.
Well, good. Yeah, the cigarette burn repair actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would in my mind. The ones
the biggest offender was the passenger rear seat,
right?
And I happened to pour some super glue right next to it. I'm like, well, whatever. it's like, well, it's more black and white on a black and white seat. It's not that big a deal. Also, that was the most stained of them all. I gave that thing 3 springs, 3 scrubbings, a lot of vacuuming, and restored it to a lighter shade of beige from it just being brown.
That's a win.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Still, not coming anywhere near the missing $4,000 and picking up a $12,000 car for $8,000. But probably taking on that first K already. Got it registered yesterday. Finally retired at Uber after 16 years.
Rest in peace, Uber. Did you keep the tag?
No, I'm just not feeling that sentimental and don't want to deal with stolen tag or getting fined for that or whatever. I could just make a fake one later. No one cares that it was an Eagle Scout tag. What I could do is just get a fake one off eBay and put a sticker on it. It's going to look the part.
That's true. And how much is the tag for the Blue Ridge Parkway thing?
It's a $30 premium for that specialty plate. The specialty groups, so if you wanted a college or organization, your favorite NASCAR driver, whatever, nature preserve, ranges between an extra $10 to $30, and if you wanted to get it customized, is another $30. And that goes if you have just a plain Jane tag like your 8K RPM or Uber. But if it's a customized special interest plate, you're allowed only 4 characters, and then you're charged at $30 to put your letters on it, as well as that $10 to $30 specialty premium. So Uber was not a cheap tag to have that whole time.
Being creative is expensive, isn't it?
Yes, it can be.
I get STFU on it. And see
as far as doing my own seat repairs, it ain't pretty, but it did the trick to at least no longer see foam beneath the seat.
Yeah.
I'd also discovered that seat's loose. At least the bottom of it is.
You did. I assumed you tightened it.
I haven't really messed with it yet. It's
how loose are we talking?
While scrubbing, I noticed this thing sure is moving up an awful lot. And then just lifted it up. It's like, well, I guess I could hide some more drugs in here.
That car had a pretty hard life.
Really bad. Like, it's probably still not as bad as the second Tacoma did.
Yeah.
That I noticed lots of weird stuff wrong with that one along the way.
Well. Yeah, well, the Jeep, when we picked the Jeep up, everything worked.
Yeah.
Everything worked on the Jeep. It was just old.
Mm-hmm.
And everything still works.
And I figure if it had done 250,000 miles on it, it's evident that's been taken care of.
Yeah, whoever had this very much took care of it, much like my S2K, which is gone as of Friday. It's loaded up on the trailer. I got my money.
And it was wearing a Mazda 2 as a hat.
It was.
The least of the Scions, the IA.
It was a very nice Russian man picked it up. So I got plenty of pictures of everything. He wanted me video. I took a video of the guy pulling the car on, which he had to extend the trailer all the way out. I was
curious how the lowered car would be going the trailer.
All right, it was all the way out, and then wood at the front of the splitter, and then wood in the middle of the metal. So he had to have 4 planks to get it
I'm surprised you didn't just get some pool noodles or like bubble wrap the car to put it on.
It's funny because when he got done, he's like, haven't had to use those in several years. Been doing it for a long time now. I think he said he's been doing it about 8 years. So I was like, do you like doing it? He's like, has its ups and downs, but they pay very well. I'm like, 100% chance you've been in the mafia at some point. But car's gone. The bike search.
How big was the carrier?
It was a full carrier. 80-foot carrier. A full carrier. We loaded it up on Evans Road because he couldn't get down there.
I was curious where you would have placed the truck to do so.
I would show you on video, but that's taking video.
Yeah.
So
it's all right. We have the technology. We'll just mess with that later.
Yep. I'm just making sure I did everything right here. Yep.
Just making sure
I've been paranoid. Like, I know I did it right this time, but I've been paranoid since last episode, and didn't press record until like fucking 20 minutes in. But I've been casually looking at cars before because I did that when I had the car.
As we do. Like I'm pretty sure I'd seen this car at the end of 19 when it might have still been 10 grand. Or at least something similar to it that lived in Jacksonville was 10 grand at the time.
My buddy Britt's trying to talk me back into getting into the Conquest game.
Natch.
And I told him, I was like, I can't get back with an X. But I've kind of passed it. Like,
Well, you had your fun with that car and also realized, 8 or 10 years ago now, that even then, parts are difficult to come by.
Yeah.
That said, I saw a pristine Mark II Supra at Aldi the other day.
Very nice. That's another problem with the Conquest. It got mistaken for Zs, for Supras, for 944 Porsches all the time.
Second gen RX-7.
And that
saw one of those yesterday, blue with white wheels.
Yeah. To quote Mr. Brian Layton, if you're listening, Mr. Brian Layton, he goes, don't get a vet, don't get anything like that. He goes, you're a unique dude, and a unique dude needs a unique ride. I was like, take that as a compliment. He goes, you should have. It was a compliment. So it was like right-hand drive stuff. Vipers I like the idea of, but in practice, I would probably drive it even less than the S2K. And I kind of want somewhere nice to sit in. And that's why I was like looking at V8 Vantages yesterday. I was like, Emily's like, I really like that, but if you spend $40,000 on a car, you're going to have to live in it. So
that was one of the jokes I said with Dad when we were going to pick up the Scion. I was like, yeah, it's a car big enough to sleep in. It's like, well, for what it's worth, any car is big enough to sleep in. Like,
not a smart car, but that's not really a car.
Not a car. Yeah, just now after working at Carvana, as little as that is right now, we've had a few FRBRZSs going through. I'm just too old for that thing. It's like I don't fit in those well.
Well, my buddy Mike Crockett he's 41 or 42, and he's got the yellow one. What's the perform? It's not the ST. It's not STI. It's the what I'm talking.
The new one's the TS, the tuning by STI. So it's got the giant wing on the back. We had one of those go through there in blue, and it's like, hey, this looks really neat, but that wing is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's basically mash these mic stands together, and it's sitting that high.
Wonder Twin powers,
and the visibility at the tail end was non-existent because of it.
Yeah. Well, Brian and I were talking yesterday before I went to sleep, and I was like, I'm going to have to spend twice what I paid for the S2K to have as much fun. I mean, I could pick up a C7 Vet and even a C6 Z06 now, but I don't think that fits my character, to be honest. I just don't. And I really do. I was like, Emily, could you see me riding a bike? And she goes, yes. So I think and the thing is, the bike, it's a fairly cheap gamble. If I ride it for a little while and I end up not liking bikes, I can just sell it and no worse for wear.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling I'll probably like it. Because I like riding bicycles, so this is just like much faster.
With none of the belling. And
I was like, you like bikes too, don't you?
I was really weighing that option when I lived in Raleigh back 03, 04, going to state, mostly for the better parking. Because every parking lot on campus there, had a designated motorcycle lot, and if I recall correctly, it was cheap or free for motorcycles. Cars, however, it was all for upperclassmen. It was all expensive, or you could roll the dice parking on the street. I've still got several unpaid parking tickets from those years, and hey, that tag no longer exists. So there.
It's just like not returning your movie at Blockbuster. Eventually, you don't have to pay it back. But I like the idea of the bike. I really do. I think that's going to be it. Because, like I said, all right, so I think if I had to fill my garage right now with a car that somebody told me, if you buy this, you have to keep it 10 years. You cannot sell it. It'd be a 97 white NSX Targa. But
is that the last of the slant noses?
No, actually, the last year of the first year of the non-pop-ups, I think, was 02. So let's type that into this here
thingamajig.
Yeah, now that I have the technology right in front of me, I can.
Yeah, it's seeing as there is already a computer that old in house, but it's missing half the keyboard.
Okay, 2002 was the last year of the pop-ups. 2003 was the first year of the fix, and I never liked the fix.
It didn't look right.
I don't think so. It was too bubbly. If they made it flush, like it'd have been okay, but I never cared for that. I want the pop-ups, but the thing is, I want the 97 because you get the 6-speed transmission, and we all know
more gears the better.
More gears the better. In manual cars.
Yeah.
In automatic cars, I don't need a 10-speed automatic.
They get confused.
Oh, it's always gear hunting. Like if driving a new car, and I know you have because you valet. It's always hunting for the right. That's worse than it's not worse than a CVT.
Apparently,
pretty fucking close.
6 is about the magic number. 7s you could get on Vets and Porsches, and it doesn't quite feel right. Like, never mind how much you may want that extra gear, especially in the S2000, as noisy as that would get at speed.
It could be. With the hard top on it, it wasn't that bad. But if you had the soft top down, or if you were one of those people that had just the soft top, and you had the soft top up, or it was raining, it was just
getting pelted as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I gotta have more fun, and I can't have as much fun spending what I sold it for, and because a Miata is fun, but it's not as much fun as S2000. It's just not. It doesn't sound as good.
You have to do a flying Miata conversion, and then you're ticking off.
That would be boss.
You're taking down that 20K point in a hurry once all said and done with that.
Yep, and then the FD RX-7, but with a V8, sounds awesome until you realize, like you told me yesterday, and I have to keep telling myself.
It's a project car. It may be a completed project car, but it's going to have the hybridization issues.
Yeah, it would suck to need a part because, like, what do you need? It's for a 94 RX-7, but I need a brake line for a 98 Z28 Camaro and, like, a thermostat for an 02 Z06. Like, I don't know if I can do this.
I'm trying to keep up with the everything.
Yeesh. Well, the Jeep has Dodge Neon injectors in it.
Yeah.
Got me better gas mileage and better throttle response.
Sure.
Steve, with that gone, and everybody now knows I want a bike because I've 3 episodes deep into that. Beer news. You ready for beer news?
You betcha.
Ohio woman receives care packages of beer and cupcakes and snacks for her children from strangers whom she doesn't know, and 2 consecutive nights, and she caught this on her surveillance, on her CCTV doohickey. She caught it. The first man was dressed like a pig, and the second was dressed in a T-Rex outfit.
That's at least more useful than the guy who was running around with an old TV on his head and leaving old CRTs on people's porches.
Fantastic.
To whom it may concern, no, you may not have my 27-inch tube, assuming it still works.
Steve's got a 27-inch tube?
Television, yes. Aww. It's a heavy pass.
But I'm not sure what
one of my other quarantine projects I haven't tackled yet is trying to get one of the Raspberry Pis to talk to it successfully.
Okay. How's I take it it's not working out at all. Not just well, just not at all.
There's a designated image for it, and I burn a card to it, and just haven't gotten around to it. Let's just say the new card's been distracting.
Gotcha. I meant to tell you before we started beer news, if I had to replace it, it'd either be that or a Cayman or an Evora.
Nice.
I like the Cayman kind of. The new Cayman?
It'd be hilarious if you wound up getting one of the last of the good XRSs. The 8,000 RPM Matrix.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That the Pontiac counterpart was a lot of fun, but it was just becoming a handful.
It tends to do that. I'd rather have an Evora.
But and also those are the later models are really tough to come by. Like all of them are 03s and 04s, and the Matrixes had the awful body kit in the first couple of years. They looked more normal in the 05s and 06s.
They did, yeah. The Evora, I want the S.
Yeah, the Vibe at least had the good sense to look the same.
The Evora has 345 horsepower, I think.
What was that in supercharger ag?
The supercharger
has 280.
Yeah, the regular had 280, and then 345 the S. Then the 400 had 400.
Because that's ultimately what became the fire-breathing Camry engine. Never mind how hideous those are. Well, there's such a thing as a 301 horsepower Camry on the market now.
Yeah. I could just have the bike for 2 years and wait for Evora 400s to come down in price a little bit and then just pick one of those up. Those have back seats, which are hilarious. That might be the bizarre. That's the only mid-engine 4-seater with a rear trunk that I can think of.
Since 911 wouldn't.
Front trunk, yeah, because it's a rear engine.
Yeah.
Which is a stupid design, by the way. I'm not a 911 guy, though.
As time's gone on, the engine has crept more forward, and then the 911R becomes the mid-engine 911.
Have you seen the cutaway where it just keeps getting further and further to the? That's so fucking funny. Even they know they fucked up, but they're German and they'll never admit it. Not unless you make them sign a treaty, and then we know how that goes. South African couple dies after consuming their homemade beer. Dies. She was 49, he was 55. Forensics are now being conducted. They do not have conclusive evidence as to what happened. I can't imagine. Like, we've drank 20-year-old beer and not died. So what did they put in the... There had to have been something in the water they used. But South Africa...
It's a civilized enough country.
It's a civilized country. This is post-apartheid. Let's say use pre-apartheid water. Aged water. You don't age the water.
No. Usually a matter of water storage like that. It's not the water that's concerned. It is the cleanliness of the container, which is how and why your plastic water bottles will have expiration dates that they're not designed to last forever.
No. Just like cold November rain.
Which, depending on which ones you're filling your bottles, fills up your water bottle.
Absolutely.
So there.
Steve, Mexico is running out of most of their beer that they produce, but they keep brewing Corona only for the USA.
I heard Corona had halted production.
They had, but evidently, from what I read, and
it's export only.
Yeah, I think it is export only. I don't think I've seen many Mexicans buying Corona. Most of the time, when I see Mexicans buy beer, it's Dos Equis or Negra Modelo.
Much like Australians don't drink Foster's.
No, they
Never
do
mind,
not.
Foster's isn't even Australian-made. It's Canadian.
And let's not gloss over the fact that Foster's isn't really even that good.
Nope.
North Carolina breweries now have...
whenever you go to Outback,
yes,
get the Coopers. At least when you could. They had a Cooper's beer. No relation, I'm sure.
Probably
but
not.
That was a good one.
Okay.
That or Mexican Beer Victoria is a good one.
Yeah, I haven't had that in a long time. That was cans or bottles, or I thought it was bottles. Happy to be wrong there.
Yeah.
Do you remember Tequiza?
Vaguely.
It wasn't bad, actually.
Yeah. There's that. There was another agave beer made by Anheuser, and there was Dos Equis Azul that I could only find as part of the 24-pack from Costco 3 years ago. Yeah. It was delicious, and I never saw it again.
That sucks, man. The good die young. North Carolina breweries have sent over $1 million worth of beer to be converted to hand sanitizer. Oh, nice.
That is the South African Toyota prancing horse.
That's awesome.
And I had one of those on the first Tacoma. My mechanic shop had a sticker of it. I searched high and low and found another one on eBay. So I'm trying to figure out just where do I place this on the new old car.
Right over the Scion badge. So good on North Carolina breweries for donating $1 million worth of beer to be converted to hand sanitizer.
Did I tell you about the hand sanitizers I bought from Ollie's?
No.
Brought to you by Faber Distilling Company of Pennsylvania. Funny because that is also the name of the college and Animal House.
Oh, nice.
It is 160 proof, smells and tastes like moonshine. It is rough. I've got a small bottle of it in the car if you need a whiff.
Okay.
It's brutal.
By the way, Animal House, watching it now, you have to remember that it was a different time. That movie no way could be made now. Are you having trouble with the charging?
It's not staying put.
I have a power bank.
Ostensibly, this is too. Just nothing's staying connected.
And last but not least, Steve, Buffalo Trace releases 3 new kosher whiskeys. A rye recipe, a straight rye, and a wheated bourbon. Technically, they're all kosher, but it's kind of like their special release. And that's all the beer and whiskey and alcohol spirit news I have for now. I might have some more tequila since you're still nursing yours. Oh, there's a face. He likes it, but it's still tequila. Toby will not drink tequila. He swears it makes him really mean. But I'm like, you already have the mean-looking face, so... I was like, I texted him last night. I texted him last night. I was like, you married yet? I haven't heard anything back yet. Well, Steve, do we delve into Mexican booze or albums from 1999?
Mexican booze, sure, why not?
I mean, we just got done with beer
booze
news.
or Mexican cars?
Cars or booze. We can do both. The booze isn't going to take long, because I did find a couple of ones I didn't know about, but for the most part, it's tequila. So either one's fine. You want to flip an imaginary coin?
Sure.
Heads is booze, tails is cars. Cars.
All right.
All right. As I drink more of this, I like this tequila a lot. I found a bourbon and tequila cocktail.
I got to pretend to be on the road in 12 hours, and this makes me have doubts I'm going to succeed in that. Trouble doing these on Tuesdays during my Wednesday, Thursday work thingamahoosit.
Well, it just makes the Wednesday a little more interesting.
It means Tuesday night I ain't sleeping for shit is what usually happens. Going into tax day, I had a fucking panic attack and called out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I only realized, taxes will be due in 3 more months.
Yeah. Well, we could do it on Thursdays.
Mayhaps. Usually by then I'm pretty wiped out. The fucking detailing thing's exhaustive. This is not what I signed up for.
Well, Sundays.
Yeah, that usually seems to work.
Might be back to Sundays again.
Probably not as the next one. It's Mother's Day. It's like I was gonna go video chat with Debbie or something.
Yeah, probably be like Thursday next week. Whatever. We're not done with this episode yet. God damn it.
That's it.
Mexican cars or cars built not the Mistretta, because that's the only Mexican car I can think of, but cars built in Mexico. There's a lot of them. That's one thing I did not research beforehand.
Somewhere you should have a browser tab open that is USDM.
It's open, but I have to remember like the scrolling is opposite of the Apple, so it's interesting to.
I didn't know you could 2-finger scroll with that old thing.
Yeah, it's scrolling right now.
I mean, I could have brought you a mouse the size of a hockey puck if you were so inclined.
I want nothing better than to take this outside and run it over with the Jeep 1,000,000 times over.
For what it's worth, that was from Five Below, so it was cheap and worth it, by the way. You're welcome. I've got more somewhere.
A wired mouse would be it's going to be long, or I'll just buy myself like a really good one, because what this one will do is I'll be reading an article and I'll scroll, and then it'll just do this. It'll just hunt. Like, so I have no idea.
I mean, that's also seen a year or two worth of use.
Probably.
It looked neat and it's dirt cheap. How many times do you have to change the batteries in it?
Twice.
Okay.
One time.
Yeah, somewhere I've got some more wired mice, but I know where to find more in a store.
I like the wired option or wireless option only for when we do this.
Yeah.
This is good. So I will get a wireless one, but eventually, like this one needs to be office spaced.
Yeah. Hey, it's your mouse. Do what you want with it.
The Ford Fusion was built in Mexico.
My 98 Volkswagen GTI was built in Mexico, as are many of the American-sold Volkswagens, particularly Golfs and Jettas.
So how it works is what they do, they ship the parts to the factory, and then the factory assembles them. So Volkswagen in Germany sends them to the plant in Mexico, and then in Mexico the employees built the car, right?
I've heard that some of the plastics are molded in Mexico, and the VW factory there is at an altitude of 7,000 feet. You've seen high altitude baking directions.
Yeah.
Something to that effect must also go into effect for plastics, or not be observed, that things just don't always go so well.
Gotcha.
That's speculated for a long time that they're not as great.
You got the same list up I do?
Was it the Journal Times?
Yes. But we can do this back to back, or we can do it.
So we got...
That's a very sticky. I'm going to take care of you, very sticky.
Yeah, peel the stickers off, but then fix her up. Whoops.
Talk amongst yourself.
Next up is the Dodge Ram. I don't care if it's just Ram. It's always going to be the Dodge Ram.
Have you seen the awfulness of the new Ram trucks that have the big Ram logo on the back where the letters are... That is so ostentatious, and I hate that.
Toyota did it best back in the day.
Yeah.
My 97 Tacoma was one of the last of those to do so before this shrank the lettering on it.
Yep.
And now that's come back, and it's now embossed. Like, embossed is not a bad look for it, but if you're taking up the whole tailgate, it looks pretty dumb.
Yeah, it does. Especially
when
when there's
the back
three
of the
letters.
Scion just have giant letters on it.
Scion.
Change up cyanide.
Sayonara.
I keep bouncing between cyanide and sayonara.
The Chevrolet Silverado. It's funny that all these people who are these trucks
gung-ho that have their government bailout vehicles are built in Mexico.
Well, I was going to say that, but I was also going to say the people who drive these vehicles are mostly pro Agent Orange and
pro-wall.
It's pro-wall, and they're driving trucks that are built in Mexico is the height of irony. You're going to like that, I guarantee it.
Sweet.
The Silverado is wow, that's General Motors' best-selling vehicle.
I'm not surprised.
Now that I think about it, though, that really isn't surprising because, I mean, I know they sell a ton of Vets, but what else does General Motors sell?
At least
Tahoes.
Yeah, and which is a Silverado derivative. I mean, that'd be separate sales figures.
They share the same. They've got to share the same chassis.
I think they followed Ford's footsteps in killing off all their sedans.
No way.
I think so. I know the Cruze got the axe. I think the Impala's dead again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Malibu's dead yet, but I think that's all rental fleet car.
You're a...
the Camaro is about to get the axe again.
It should. It's hideous.
Mm-hmm.
The Camaro has not looked good since Burt Reynolds drove one.
And that was the Firebird counterpart, which always was the better-looking car.
Every single time it was.
Particularly in its debut in 1967.
Well, the Camaro didn't look bad when it had the dual square lights in the front. It was super long.
The 84 to 92 model, like Preston's.
No, I hated that one. I meant the 93 to...
Oh, okay. The next gen.
But the pre-catfish.
Yeah,
I didn't like the catfish lights.
How much of the first Gran Turismo have you played? In the Chevy portion of that, like that's the featured car. Yep. Is that one
the white one with the orange stripes? That was
sick.
Yeah, I actually liked that one. But at the time, I didn't like it. And then the new Camaro came
good luck
out.
finding one of those not ratted out.
Oh my god! I saw one the other day driven by a really old guy, but it had like super loud pipes on it, and it was a stick, and I was like, "You're all right, buddy."
Remember seeing the Chevy bow tie exhaust pipes on those?
That was awful.
It's like, well, at least you change it from the stock rectangle tailpipes.
Yeah.
Just use circles like an adult.
God, ugh. Ford Oval. That's harder to... If I ever see that, I'm going to key that car. Steve, what's next?
The Nissan Sentra. See so many of those rolling through that are gray formal rental cars.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know they're rental cars? I've got to peel off the little barcodes off the windshield from rental agencies using those to more easily document them. Like them and Rogues, which the Rogue is going to ultimately kill the Sentra.
Yep. Next up in horrible designs by Nissan, who hasn't made a good car since the 300ZX, the Nissan Versa.
Uh-huh.
Which was at one time...
Hey, let's face it, you liked the 370Z once upon a time.
I still do. But I liked it when it first came out, but then they didn't change it and released it for 11 years with no redesign. But the new 400Z actually is a handsome devil. Have you seen it?
I've seen the speculation surrounding that. It's kind of the retro-looking one.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Although I think they should have brought back 240Z and had a twin-turbo 2.4 liter, but with a 6-speed.
Yep.
I digress. Nissan Versa, Sandy had one at one time.
It was the sedan variant, and it appeared that car decayed in a hurry, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it did. I think that car had 50,000 miles, and all of the font on the like for your window switches, all that stuff. You just none of the buttons had font on it anymore. You just had to know what the button did.
Yeah. Luckily, that car had so few features. It's not like you're gonna be missing a whole lot. But I've noticed a lot of cars nowadays with the start-stop buttons, that gets worn off.
The S2000 did it best. It was funny to watch the guy get in.
Push the button.
Hand me that glass, sir.
Given if I were to somehow acquire an S2000 of my own, I'm disabling that fucking switch. It's just turn the key and go.
You can't. All right, so when you turn the key, it stops at on. You can't turn it to start. Like, it only turns to AC, to accessory, and to the on position. If you turn it to the on position, nothing happens. So you have to use the start button. Good luck spending that much money to fix a problem you don't like. But a lot of people have done...
Hey, I'm glad my car uses a key like an adult. None of this push-button bullshit.
What a lot of people have done with the S2K, though, is they switch the hazard lights with the start button. So the start button's down here, so you can do this with the same hand instead of doing that and then this. So that a lot of them do that. Steve, what's next after as I crack this open and pour some for us? I was going to say for the crowd. I'm not pouring it for the crowd.
Volkswagen Jetta.
See also Audi A4 Diet version.
I think all the rowdy Audis are built in Deutschland, though.
That's true.
Yeah, Jetta's their biggest seller in the U.S., made here briefly in the late 80s before Volkswagen closed its plant in Pennsylvania outside of Philadelphia. When Volkswagen built its new plant in Tennessee in 2011, it was intended for larger vehicles like the Passat sedan. Volkswagen has been making the Jetta in Puebla, Mexico since 1993.
That's incredible. What's your favorite year of Jetta?
Probably the Mark III, because that was the earliest with the VR6s.
Is that the square body?
Yeah, the square body.
I like the square body also.
Had the same engine and possible problems that my Mark III GTI did, but man, the noise those cars made was rad. A buddy of mine, when I first lived in Charlotte, had one.
It had a growl to it.
Yeah, it was a very distinct engine in it, being a narrow angle V6 that rather than being a straight V or a straight line of cylinders, it was staggered. So it was a 15-degree VR6, whatever that stood for in German, which is how and why that was their go-to engine until turbocharging and diesel gating everything.
Yeesh. Next up, the very tragic and horrible, decrepit Dodge Journey. Oh,
you stop believing.
What are we drinking, Steve?
Cooper's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It's delicious. 100 proof.
It tastes like it's 100 proof also.
Yep. Whew. That's going to give you some reflux. Wow.
It has a very long burn, but I like it.
That's good stuff, though. I like this. I still like this better than Four Roses.
Four Roses would peel paint off the wall.
Yeah, that was rough. Cooper's Craft Barrel Reserve takes its very distinctive flavor from barrels that are post-char chiseled interiors. This deepens the whiskey's wood exposure, creating a robust taste profile. Our chiseled barrels have been handcrafted by our master coopers, barrel makers, to deliver a bold and complex Kentucky bourbon that is bottled at 100 proof.
Yeehaw.
Yippee-ki-yay, feather pluckers.
It's too bad that the place that gives us such delicious drinks has such a shitty person in that state.
One of the automotive journalists on the Smoking Tire says, like, you know, I really enjoy the people in Kentucky. They keep electing fuckheads, but the people are nice. It's like,
yes. Yes, it is. But the journey is horrible.
The cheapest 7-passenger vehicle on the market.
That's a 7-passenger?
It's a tiny van. It does have a third row. Smith has one and doesn't hate it. He did get the high-spec one. Oh, had one. He got a new Ranger.
Yes, he did, because he's a Ford guy at heart.
Yep.
What's next, Esteban?
GMC Sierra. I was like,
Also,
why does that exist?
I don't know. Like, I really don't. It just seems like a lot of...
It's just dumb.
It seems stupid to have the same. At least the Talon and the Eclipse looked different.
Yeah. The big difference was back in 2003 when you had the Angry Silverado.
Yeah.
And the Sierra looked normal.
Yeah.
And then the corresponding Suburban or burgeoning Yukon XL, looked okay. But the Angry Silverados still look bad today.
Yeah. Look how tiny the wheels are on that Sierra.
That's a lot of fender gap.
That is like the stock 07 Tacoma, the two-wheel drive regular. And speaking of...
I wasn't as nuts about the pre-runner I had, but at least it looked normal.
Speaking of...
next up is the Toyota Tacoma. I was unaware of that having been built there, but once GM killed Pontiac, Toyota didn't want to run a union shop in California, therefore shuttered production and wound up moving things southward, say to Mexico or into Mexico.
Didn't know you were going to get your Latin flair today, did you?
Well, that was kind of the theme we were going for today, sir. When Toyota Motor Corps introduced the midsize Tacoma in 95, it was made at the joint General Motors and Toyota plant in Fremont, California, also cranking out my vibe. So therefore I had 3 NUMMI cars. In 2003, Toyota built a new plant in Baja California, Mexico, just south of the border, to expand Tacoma production. Toyota still makes some Tacomas in the U.S., but moved production to San Antonio, Texas in 2010 after selling the California plant to Tesla. Tacoma starts at $24,000.
Yeah, the Tacoma starts at $24,000.
And
but
happily escalates beyond $40,000.
I
didn't even bother looking at Tacomas for new cars. Like, the mileage sucks and it's going to be expensive. I don't need a pickup.
No.
I missed the first one. I don't miss the second one.
I'm amazed.
That was too much truck.
How expensive shit is now? Like,
yep.
I mean, a bare bone. Like, you can't get any.
I think the
reasonable car for less than $20,000 brand new.
Would have been the last of mine a couple years ago. I think that was still holding about $20,000, but the new Corollas are now running $23,000 to $30,000.
I mean, if I just wanted a utilitarian appliance, I would get a Corolla, a base Corolla. But I don't with a manual. Can you still get the Corolla with the trans?
Oh yes, it's not dead.
Okay.
The generation after this,
yeah.
Sharp-looking car, comes with a stick, and all surveys say that's the one to get.
Yeah, and the hot hatch version, that's
damn
nice.
The new Garmin edition is speculated to make it here to give you 270, not 170 horses.
Front wheels, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting. For those of you who don't know what torque steer is, it's not fun.
Yeah. Well,
it's fun. It's on purpose.
Yeah. Hey, my car had the traction control button to turn off. So next rainy day, and those Falcons are not in good shape.
You decadent
We're going to have some fun, yo.
How many cars have you owned that have traction control?
I don't recall if the 98 GTI had any version thereof. Don't think the trucks did. Vibes certainly didn't.
I think we
So
tied.
I think between 1 and 2.
I've had one. Which
and
one
was
was
the
it?
Acura.
Yeah, it was the Acura, but it wasn't called traction control. It's a Honda acronym. VSA, Vehicle Stability Assist. Sounds
Cool.
way more important than it really fucking
Hey,
is.
you know what I'm still not calling my car? Barcelona Red.
That's not a great name.
It's just
All right, what can I...
like Matador Red would make sense,
Can
but
we
that would be a different town.
Do you know the name? I know you're not a big color name guy, but can you remember some of the names of the colors of your car? I know you can.
The Vibe was Neptune, not navy blue.
Neptune blue. Okay.
That's the only one that stood out.
All the S2000s were named after racetracks. Mine was Sebring Silver. The Conquest was Sarajevo white. Yes, Sarajevo, the former capital or current capital of Bosnia Herzegovina.
Former Yugoslavian capital.
Yeah, actually it was, because the capital of Serbia is Belgrade. But Sarajevo was the capital of Yugoslavia, but now it's the capital of Bosnia Herzegovina.
Which keeps baffling me every time I pass by the new neighborhood near me, Belgrave.
There's a lot of them there now.
Apparently the Camry would have been dark green pearl.
Okay. The Jeep is...
They said metallic funny.
The Jeep is Patriot Pearl Blue.
It's prescient.
There ain't no pearl left in that paint.
That oyster is spent.
It's just the shell. It's not. There's no pearl left in it. The purple Starion I had was Durban Maroon, and Durban is a city in South Africa. What was the Acura? I think was just called Pearl White. I think. Don't quote me on that. I remember the color to the Maxima. It just came to me. Sunlit Sand Metallic. Also known as...
Beige. Champagne.
Champagne. The Christopher Walken skin.
The Continental. By the way, watched Suicide Kings a week ago. Hated it. Hated
how
that
bad?
movie.
How bad?
Still better than Albino Alligator, but not by much. That is my go-to horrible movie. That and Libertine with Depp suffering syphilis and a Michael Jackson nose.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
This definitely had promise. It has good cast, but it just sucked. So yeah, we've got Christopher Walken. Yeah, let's tape him to a chair the whole movie.
Yikes. The last one on the list was the Ford Fiesta.
Home it's like that and the Focus, home of the worst transmissions.
Goy.
That's got an active recall on it. Like, typically at least an automatic will go when you tell it to go.
Yeah.
This will hesitate and stutter within your first 25 miles an hour trying to get the car moving.
Don't you think I haven't thought about getting rid of the Jeep also and just getting a SRT Grand Cherokee? Mm-hmm. But it's an automatic, so...
So you and what transmission swap from a Challenger?
I can't be bothered. I can't change. I know you can't either. Like as long as I have a left foot and a right hand, I want to drive. I want to row my own. I want to choose the gear. I just feel like you like driving, don't you? It's an enjoyable experience. I like doing this. I don't like doing.
And I've definitely got a good case of drive slow car fast now.
Isn't it much? It's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's why I'm honest.
I can drive this car like a hooligan, and no one's gonna care.
Yep, absolutely.
It'll allegedly do 100 on the local beltway, but that's neither here nor there.
I feel
also handy for having traction control because this was in the rain.
Honestly, if the car does 100 miles an hour, then it's plenty quick enough to get you in trouble. Yeah, it just is. Like. You can be a bench racer all you fucking want to, but I mean it's the same way with the bikes too. Mm-hmm. Like somebody at work's like, man, just get a 1000, man. You're gonna get bored of that 600. I'm like, No. I don't care about
If you
running
wanna-
a 9-second quarter mile.
If you want a bike with airbags, you get a Gold Wing. But trouble is, it looks like a Gold Wing.
Yeah. And I'm not a Harley guy because I'm not 75 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I don't like, I like the sound, but I'm not, no, it's not my thing. So Mexican cars and the Mistretta. The Mistretta is a Mexican car company. Remember that from Top Gear?
Vaguely.
I need to remember. I need to see what this looks like. Whoa, cut it out. I hadn't figured this out yet. There we go.
It's just a newly brained Windows PC, man.
The Mistretta MXT. Let's see here. It's not horrible, but it kind of looks like somebody crashed an McLaren into
a Noble.
an Audi R8 into a Noble.
Yeah. Not a bad looking rig.
It's not terrible.
Those giant teardrops on the front end would only look good on black.
Yeah.
But the rest of it's mad decent.
It's not terrible, and I think yellow is probably the best looking color. The puke green, not so much. Black actually looks really good.
Did you see the one in mirror?
Ooh. Ooh. The Mirror Stretta. Crap. There used to be a BMW riding around Charlotte, 6 Series.
Yeah, in the blue mirror chrome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Woofy.
We'll see that in downtown. Because I don't believe in Uptown. This ain't a Billy Joel nor Mark Ronson song.
You know why it's called that, don't you?
Because the elevation is higher than the surrounding shithole surrounding it.
Yeah. Well,
because everyone cares about the elevation of the middle of your city.
We need more beer.
Yes, we do.
What do you fancy this time? Have you had the peanut? We had the white chocolate one. Have you had the peanut butter cup stout?
I don't believe so.
Let's have one of those, and we don't have to share because that one wasn't $24 a 6-pack. It was only $18 a 6-pack.
Ooh, the relative bargain.
Fuck yeah. 10 popular cars. So, Steve, Mexican booze. Before we get into albums from 1999, there were a lot more albums in 1999 than I originally thought. And then I also wrote down some that were funny from artists I didn't even know, but because it was so funny, I just wrote them down. Sure. So, thank you.
I liked the Monumento a lot.
That was excellent.
For being a buck of beer, that didn't suck.
Yeah, for real.
Versus my usual Rolling Rock at home.
By the way, yeah, that's true. But thanks to everybody. We got a lot of good feedback on the live videos. A lot of people like the videos, and I really like doing the videos. So it adds a new dynamic to this.
Did you happen to notice my more Vegas and Mexico shirt?
Is that a goose?
Flamingos.
Oh.
This was the last thing I bought at TJ Maxx before they closed for pandemic.
You need to just take me to Ollie's because I've never been.
Yeah. It's a lot of weird shit on the cheap, but I enjoy that shop a lot, especially when they have the random 15% off an entire purchase coupon.
True. I'm wearing...
So this is why I'm broke.
I'm wearing the shirt of the university I'm currently attending, where I work.
It's making you a vegetable.
True.
Vegetable.
Vegetably. So, Steve, Mexican booze. I'm going to make you guess them instead of just telling you what it is. What's the obvious one?
Tequila.
Tequila, and is made from...
Cactus-ish.
Agave. But what color agave?
Blue.
Only blue agave is tequila. That is correct. Steve.
How about agave syrup that's used for sweetening things?
Something else. That's called pulque. Pulque. P-U-L-E-Q-U-R-E-U-E. Pulque. Fermented agave sap. That's what that is. We need to try some of that. And now that we've got more agave, mezcal is any agave.
Okay.
So that's liquor made from any that's not blue.
It's from 93, but Swerve Driver's album is Mezcal Head. And I had to look up what that is. It's shoegaze and like super chill rock.
Swerve Driver's better than Devil Driver.
Yeah.
Also Coal Chamber.
Swerve Driver is surprisingly relaxing. It was on the Road Rash soundtrack. That's how I first heard them.
Yeah.
And back in the MySpace days, staked out that band Something Fierce because that was one of the earliest spots where you could stream anything.
True. 3, 2, 1. Pleasant. Yay, we peaked it.
Hooray!
Steve, what are we drinking?
Untitled Art, Hidden Springs Ale Works, Peanut Butter Cup Stout.
Contains lactose, peanuts, and natural flavors. Where's it from, Steve?
Didn't turn my can enough. Wanaki, Wisconsin.
Yay.
Weighing in at 12% ABV. Katink.
I was trying to make a sound effect with the cans.
Nice.
This is really good, by the way. This is the best peanut butter beer I've ever had.
Oh, Sean.
This one's 12%. So it's 3% lighter than the white chocolate. This is amazing. Also,
that's delicious.
They need to make other... I'm sure they do. They probably have better. They probably have more than just the white chocolate and the peanut butter.
They're off to a good start, whoever they are.
Fuck yeah, dude. So you've got... Basically, we've got 3. We've got tequila, pulque, and mezcal. There are 2 more, and I had no idea that they make... But by the way, they have...
As in different varieties of tequila adjacents?
Not tequila at all, actually.
Are they making vodka and whiskey, too?
One of them's whiskey. Mexican whiskey called Sierra Norte.
North Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny considering that the entirety of the state of California is north of Mexico.
True.
So I think that would technically be Sierra Norte.
Yep, it's made the...
Or if your GMC's built in Canada instead.
Whiskey is made usually with either corn or rye. Like, this is an all-corn whiskey, and because it's Mexican, it's made with white, yellow, and black corn with the notes of apple and vanilla, and we need to try that shit on here.
Si, senor.
And also tepache, which is Mexican kombucha.
Would that be a spiked beverage, though? Because typically kombucha isn't.
Kombucha has alcohol. Very minor.
Okay.
Minor. Like, you can still buy it if you're under 21.
Yeah.
But it evidently...
like 0.5% unless it's medicinal or mouthwash.
Right. And evidently it's made with, I think, fermented pineapple. So it's probably okay.
That sounds tasty.
Although, I found a drink that we need to try. It's called a Matador, and it's tequila, lime juice, and pineapple juice. That sounds amazing.
Yes, it does.
That's all I got for Mexican booze, because they really like their tequila down there.
Hey, we're fans of their beers.
That is true.
Dos Equis, Modelo, Victoria, the unfortunately named Corona. Put a lime in it, and also put some lemon vodka in it. Sip enough down to fit about a shot's worth into it.
Yeah.
It's the lighter side of Boilermaker.
Nice. We should have Boilermakered this with the peanut butter whiskey.
Ooh.
That would be good.
That'd be lovely if I didn't have anything to do tomorrow.
Steve used to make... Steve. You're Steve. Toby used to make... it was a drink. It had Midori. You've had Midori, right?
Yeah.
Melon liqueur. So I had Midori.
Something sours.
99 bananas. Cinnamon schnapps. And I think the apple brandy. And it was so fucking good, man. It was sweeter than... Fucking, yeah. I was going to say something I shouldn't say live or on video. It was sweet. But it was really fucking good, though. I haven't had 99 banana. Have you ever had 99 bananas?
That sounds like something I might have drank underage.
It tastes like alcoholic banana runt candy. Which is the best the best
of the runts.
The best of the runts.
Yeah, I don't remember last I would have had runts, but I never held them in high regard.
We should make an off-brand of the runts called the Runt Placements. So, Steve, do we delve into the music category now?
Sure.
You know what's funny? Before we do that, everybody who I tell we have a podcast and they're asking about it, like, how many episodes? I'm like, this will be number 60. And they're like, I don't have that much to talk about. I'm like, you'd be surprised if you're having a talk show basically with one of your best friends, like, I mean, and it's about shit you love talking about. It's just recording you talking about the shit you were going to be talking about anyway. So, what's with that face, Esteban?
That's a lot of stuff I recognize, and some I even liked, and some I don't.
So, Steve, if you have it pulled up, I have an idea. I have it written down. Every time you say something that I have written down, I'll mark it out.
Okay.
Because this sounds a lot more fun.
All right. From which site did you find yours?
Yes. I took an hour to do this. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, here I am looking at this live on film, so there's that. Will you remember me? Because I will remember you, Sarah McLachlan, and your starving pets.
I didn't write it down, but I did remember seeing it. But I think Arms of an Angel was on that one.
Yeah, and that would be the quintessential ASPCA.
By the way,
ad.
That's a beautiful song. It's depressing.
It's going to rip your heart out.
But it's a beautiful song.
Do you want to read one off? Or am I going to?
I think you should
infiltrate?
read. You read them off, and then if we have the same one, then I'll mark it out.
Or my website's gonna die on me.
There's going to be a lot of overlap.
Billboard.
There'll be a lot of overlap, but
or just Billboard site's gonna take a dump. Whatever.
Well, what is Billboard anyway now?
That giant thing on a stick off the interstate.
Yes. Well, while we're at it,
did you do it all for the Nookie? Come on, the Nookie, come on, and you can take the cookie and stick out your what?
Yep, stick it up your yeah. I have Limp Bizkit's Significant Other on here.
The entirety of that album, and I'm not proud to say I listened to that a lot in my later high school years. I made a tape that was half that and half Blink-182's Enema of the State.
That's on here too. Well, Steve, there is one song on Significant Other that is still, to this day, a great song.
Rearranged?
Rearranged
that was fucking
awesome. Rad. It's too bad Wes Borland played in it. Wes Borland is an amazing guitar player. I've been over this a lot.
I was always fascinated with his contacts. His like, blacked out eyes. Like, that's unnatural, and I love it. He looks like a puppy.
So Blink, Enema of the State had What's My Age Again? I thought it had What's My Age Again and Damn It and
all right, I'm doing away with the website.
all the small things was on the one that had the porn star on the cover.
Yeah, that was Enema of the State.
That was Enema of the State. Okay, so that was on.
Otherwise, you're thinking Dude Ranch.
That's right, and then Take Off Your Pants and Jacket
was such a great title.
We should do it. We should do a best album titles episode.
I like it. Which is half of what these episodes morph into anyway.
Well, two of the best ones, and unfortunately Ted Nugent's one of them. One of them was Intensities in 10 Cities. And then one was Cradle of Filth, was Bittersweets to Suck You By. What else you got, Esteban?
Let's see. I was reading that year. I'm switching browsers, so please hold for delay.
Enhance. I haven't seen Super Troopers 2, have you?
I did. It's a decent rehash, but it's not as good as the first, but you'd still enjoy it.
So kind of like Boondock Saints 2?
This one at least wasn't all interior shots.
Fair.
I guess I could say that interior shots fired.
I like the chick though that played the chick because she was in Dexter also.
The girl cop.
Yeah, I like her.
Ursula.
Yeah, I like her. She's easy on the eyes.
How's this for something dreadful? Share, Believe. The unveiling of auto-tune to the masses, and the reason I'd rather not buy Exxon gasoline today. Apparently, the technology behind that had initially been used for geologically finding oil fields. So
really?
Something sonically with that got morphed into making everybody sound like a microwave.
Here's the thing with auto-tune. If you're using it like Cher did, I don't like it, but it was used as an effect. Like, she wasn't trying to fix her voice. She was using it as the effect. Like, now artists are using it to fix
artists
it.
doing that. Like, it makes you be able to sing. No, it does not.
No, it makes you sound like you're underwater and you're retarded. I mean, R-worded. Sorry, you can't say retarded anymore.
Say what you want. Did you hear about the protests in Denver? They want no scrubs.
I have it. TLC fan mail. I like this.
Do you have an angel? Is it yours? Did Monica put you up to this? Or is this Angel of Monica's Angel of Mine?
Oh, Monica. Oh, yeah. By the way, Monica is gorgeous. But I'm down with the swirl.
Brown sugar. How come you taste so good?
Darker the meat, sweeter the juice. There's your title.
How about Louisiana Fast? Hit me, baby, one more time.
I've got Britney Spears on here.
She is only 2 weeks younger than I am.
Baby, one more time.
When I had my German exchange student stay with me April of 2000, he saw the Rolling Stone issue I had that had her on the cover. Like, can I take a look at that? Like,
God,
yeah.
yes. That was. I remember what that
be your
looks
souvenir. Like. Yeah.
She was good. I mean,
yep.
I can't get over the vocal fry singing all the time. Was I supposed to know?
Yeah, before that didn't even have a phrase 20 years ago, did it?
Don't know if it did, but I will say that before a show, I do a lot of vocal fry to warm up my voice, and it actually helps because I don't know if you've I'll show if anybody is interested in singing. Like, there's a guy named Eric Arsenault, and like you can do fry warm ups. It actually.
Are you saying a man named Arson likes to fry stuff?
Arsenault, yes. The fry actually teaches you to relax because it takes you have to relax your throat to get it to make that noise. It actually teaches your voice to do that, so it actually helps out when you're singing. Because when you're singing, you don't want to push your voice out; you want to release it. So I do a lot of vocal fry warm ups before I do my singing. When that was a thing, when there were places to, one of my customers, hey, you got any gigs lately? I'm like, no.
Where and how and
No, because I can go live, but nobody gives a shit.
Oh, by the way, this old thing has a webcam.
No shit.
My ThinkPad doesn't. I haven't tested it out yet, but for Monday night virtual saucering, that could come in handy, so you don't have to use your phone.
It can watch me put off self-pleasure. I call it procrastinating.
A piece of tape can prevent that too. So do what you want with it.
Ooh, piece of tape. Ooh, piece of tape.
Were you ever familiar with the pub in Fort Rock Hill Mill, Sixpence? Or None the Richer?
Oh, I didn't have that one on here.
Kiss me.
Down by the milky something.
Not a clue. It was a cute song.
It's not bad. It's okay.
No, I'm going to listen to that once a year.
That's twice more than I listen to it.
Are you going to rub it the wrong way? Because you're a genie in the bottle?
Did Christina Aguilera's come out that year?
Uh-huh.
I didn't have that on there. Wow. How was Britney on there and Christina wasn't? By the way, Christina has the much better voice. And to me, much hotter. By the way, remember the Genie in the Bottle video? I do too. I remember when I was watching it, I was putting together my erector set. I was building cars with my erector set. And then also building an erector set in my pants. Anyway.
I can't look at you steely-eyed with that one.
I digress. I remember watching the video, and it was on a beach, and it looked like, and then they did pop-up video for that. It was like 38 degrees that day, and everybody was freezing fucking cold, but they couldn't put on clothes because teeny boppers. They have to sell those tickets.
I was gonna think that's gonna make it a titty bit nipply out. Too bad high-def video was only a few years away.
Well, what else you got?
What the hell is Sugar Ray saying when every morning something about a 4-post bed, clump of spit? What the fuck is that?
Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's 4-post bed.
Okay.
I didn't mind Sugar Ray, and you know why? Because Sugar Ray didn't take itself seriously because they named their album 1459.
Because their 15 minutes of fame was already up. Have you heard Lemonade and Brownies, the album before it?
No.
It's way heavier.
Really?
Listen to Me Machine.
No
it doesn't suck.
Really?
Yes. I think you're going to like that.
I like where you're going with this, Steve. You're an all right guy.
I do what I can. So, AJ, how you living?
With guns and Benzes giving ends to my friends and it feels stupendous. Wait, that's a Biggie quote.
That sounds like La Vida Loca to me.
I didn't write it down, but it
was colossal.
Yep, Ricky Martin.
It wasn't till later I discovered what menudo innuendo was.
Menudo is actually a term for intestines, I think.
Hey, it takes guts to be in a boy band. Maybe there's your album title.
The pen was already open. I tried to write it with nothing. By the way, people say, you're a sellout, you're a sellout. If somebody came to me right now and said, put highlights in your hair, go on tour with us for 1 year, and I'll pay you $2 million to be in a boy band, I'll be like, what color fucking tank top do you want me to wear? Because I'll dance for me, puppet. I will fucking do that.
Was it NSYNC or Backstreet Boys that had the puppet video, which was
NSYNC?
It's just amazing.
It's gonna be me.
So
was
funny.
the video? Don't ask me why I know that.
You've got older sisters. I had a younger sister. Hell, still do.
As far as you know.
Hey, somebody's telling me that they're doing things with my insurance and having surrendered plate. Good. I don't owe them an extra $130 for the next session, so that's nice.
It's funny you had NSYNC on there, but what was the other one?
What, do you want it that way?
Millennium from BSB.
It was funny that the first song of theirs I heard was Backstreet's Back. I never heard of them before.
So how can they be back if you've never heard them? It's like when something is new and improved.
Yeah.
If it's new, how can it be improved?
Did you ever listen to the rap rock act Two Skinny Jays?
I have. You told me, Kaylin, not a big fan of Two Skinny.
She was not a fan. Like, she didn't like them, and she did not like the Bloodhound Gang, the both of whom I've seen. But 2SJ had an album called Return of the New and Improved. And it's all bonkers shit. It's crazy. You
need to listen to Lane Staley was talking to, I think it was Kerrang. They had and they were talking about like their worst gigs. And he's like, we were on the road one time and we were in a cowboy bar in Texas, and I thought it'd be fun to come out wearing a dress. And then I told everybody they can go fuck themselves. Then I got so drunk I fell off the stage.
Oops. Was this the birth of Queen of the Rodeo?
Maybe. Bad gig stories are so awesome, and I would share them, but that will be for another episode because there's a couple bad gig. There's a couple bad gig episodes.
So why don't you slide? Brought to you by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Dizzy Up the Girl was 99? I didn't have it on there. I thought it was 98.
At least that is... I've got the year-end Hot 100 singles from Billboard of 99 up.
All right. I'm investigating now. Nope. Released September 22nd, 1998.
Whoops.
Well, Wikipedia lie?
Hey, it depends on who wrote it. Not it. I'm only as good as the information I'm given, and all I remember is picking up whatever Offspring album was in 99. And like, a friend of mine was like, how is it? Funny. Never mind, I enjoyed Ixnay the Ombre more.
It was. I had it. I didn't write it down, but Offspring '99 was Americana. Yeah, The Kids Aren't All Right, and She's Got Issues was on there.
September 21st, 99. Yeah, I remember picking that up that day, meeting up with two female friends of mine that went to the rival high school. Because back when the Barnes & Noble at Friendly Center in Greensboro had a Starbucks, and that was often our hangout there.
Permission to derail.
All the time.
I
just call you Sylvester Mashutska.
Every now and then, I'll think back to like some of the girls who I was cool with in high school, and at the time I was like, no, they're just one of the people. And now I'm like, why wasn't that not a thing? Like I can think of 3 that I hung out with in high school that we just clicked and we were so cool with, but we just never dated. Like if I could go back, I'm sorry, Emily, I'm glad I'm married to you, but like just going back, like. It's so weird. Like
the what ifs will drive you completely nuts.
That's why I'm.
Which is why I found the 9 Inch Nails live album so entertaining.
What about 9 Inch Nails, Steve?
And All That Could Have Been, and The Fragile.
The Fragile, 1999. The Perfect Drug was not on The Fragile. The Perfect Drug was on
the Lost Highway soundtrack.
That's right.
That was a little bit earlier.
97?
6, 7. Yeah, they had the video with him drinking that bright neon yellow thing. That's the color of the car I didn't want. Oddly enough, I saw one on the way going to pick up the red one. It's like, Dad, that one. That's the color. What's that? Oh, hell no.
Have we done a 9 Inch Nails episode?
We have not.
We need to.
Oh dear, like that. Them and KMFDM I've seen 3 times.
KMFDM had a '99 album. I didn't write it down, but I remembered seeing it, and I'm sure you could pull it up.
Yep. What happened after Symbols? Adios.
By the way, I left out an F in the Offspring, and it says the of spring.
The of spring.
It's the tribute, man.
Adios.
The tribute act.
Which is funny because, oh my, Adios was released April 20th, 1999.
Nice.
Whoops. Well, considering other events of that day, nope.
Yep. You know what happened on April 20th, 1999, everybody.
And wasn't getting smoked.
And
one way or another.
And there was not cotton being harvested, because that would be that word minus an L and a U. It'd be a combine.
Ugh.
I was going a different. Columbine happened on 4/20/1999. I remember when that happened. I remember what I was doing when that happened. I just got home from school and turned TV
and then
on.
Got news of that, like a suburb of Denver.
Gah.
Fucking white people.
White,
and oddly enough, like they were fans of KMFDM and Marilyn Manson.
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever see Bowling for Columbine?
Yep.
Marilyn Manson's, Brian Warner's retort about the whole
great.
Thing. Yeah.
You guys were talking. You should have listened. That's depressing, man. It's depressing for the victims and the shooters, too, because you don't realize what people go through. Like, even, I've been watching Surviving R. Kelly. It's on Netflix now. And it's fucking dark as hell. But R. Kelly and his brother were molested when they were kids. So, you either grow up because of or in spite of your surroundings, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be put away for it. I'm just saying something like that happens to you when you're that young. You can only take it a couple different ways. Like, you know what I mean? I can't walk a mile in those shoes.
Often it's a lot of, hell no, I can't wear size 9 triple Bs.
I talked to my mom the other day. I was like, I had a remarkably good childhood. You did too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
It was a fantastic childhood.
No, it had its ups and downs, but it's absolutely ups at the average.
Nobody diddled it. Like, my mom didn't work. My dad worked his ass off all the time. I never went hungry. We never wanted for anything. So I told them, I was like, don't y'all ever feel bad about that. Like, don't ever feel like you could have gave me more. Y'all gave me everything I ever needed. Like, you just gave me love and food and happiness. So,
and the unfortunate name Virtual Boy didn't hurt.
You know what, though?
Have you played on the Pi at all?
I haven't. How is it? How horrible is it to play on the Pi?
You can actually see shit, so that's nice. It's just
It's not the
everything's
same,
2D.
then.
Yeah.
I need to... Wait, we need to get out of this sad shit or I'm going to start crying. More
That's
albums
not your
of 99.
All right.
I will start crying because I'm a crier.
All right, John.
Bless me.
Gesundheit.
Bike, bitch. Can't wait.
Hey now, are you an all-star?
Get your game on. Get laid. Wait, that's not it.
So, Christian James Hand did a breakdown of that, and the Morning Zoo co-host thought they were being trolled by him as he proceeds to break down that song in the course of half an hour. But it's still irritating beyond belief, but is a well-crafted piece of shit.
You watched the Christian James Hand with Chevelle on Smoking Tire, right?
Yeah. Or listen to, like you watch the videos, I listen to the podcast, and now like I'm many episodes behind when they're weighing at 2 hours of pop. Like I can't listen to podcasts at work and don't listen to them at home, and my commutes, like I'm not on the road as much as I had been, so it's gotten more difficult.
Me either.
That's been my go-to podcast for at least 5 years now, and I've probably everything after he got the dumb Lexus I've heard.
You heard that thunder also, right?
Yep. By the way, you're on a laptop and the battery's good for maybe an hour, so if the power goes out, save, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if the power, should the power blink, this will be unfazed for a while, but the internet's going to go out, assuming that your phone's on Wi-Fi.
Phone's on Wi-Fi.
Computer's going to blank out.
Yeah.
This won't be connected, but it'll stay running, especially with this giant battery bank for $13. By the way, thanks, Ollie's. You're a pal. Yeah, a 15,000 milliamp battery pack.
English.
This can charge your phone several times over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have the regular
I don't think it's quite enough
bank.
juice to keep that thing running, but it might not be far off. But a new battery for that's $25.
Yeah, I have the power bank, and I don't know how much of...
I've got a UPS thing no use. An uninterrupted power supply.
Oh.
Computer battery. That's the size of a car battery, but you plug your computer into it.
Looks pretty ominous outside, actually.
Well, that was what the weather was calling for today, so it makes sense.
Well, you know, we still have a lot of albums to go.
Yeah, because you're so smooth.
Santana, Supernatural.
I had picked up, I don't know, somewhere, friend selling CDs, yard sale, UCD shop. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a best of Santana. In the case was Supernatural. Like, I had heard Smooth so much I got sick of it. But
still a good song.
Play the CD. Like, the entire CD is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Santana plays what kind of guitars?
Spanglish. Slide. Birds.
Paul Reed Smith.
Oh, okay.
Santana. All right, so Paul, long story short, Paul Reed Smith himself hand-built the guitars that started the company. So back in the early 80s, to get Santana to play his guitars, he walked backstage, and to get backstage, he didn't have a pass or anything. He's like, I'm late, I'm a guitar tech. Where's Carlos? And they were like, oh, he's back there. He didn't even know him at the time.
Fucking genius.
He got back there, and he's like, hey, Carlos, I want you to try my guitars. If you like them, cool, you can have them. If not, let me know, and you'll never see me again. Carlos tried them. He's like, I love these guitars. How many more can you make me? And that's how that relationship started.
Something Korea.
Yeah, so that's how that started. And
so I bet he wasn't feeling unpretty after that one.
Probably not. By the way, I'm thinking about selling those two.
Okay.
And getting one made for myself to my spec. And emailing the private stock team at Paul Reed Smith.
You're going to get yourself a Baltimore-built one instead of a Pyongyang built one?
That one's
wow.
that one's a Baltimore built. The blue one is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the blue one's built in America. That one's no, the Pyongyang's North Korea. That one's built. That one's built in Seoul. That one's built in America. The blue one's American. Because on the back it has the.
Let's face it, Pyongyang's a more fun name to say.
It is,
but it doesn't play well for that Korean fusion restaurant I love so much.
I want to. If I were to get one that I would keep and play and keep forever, it would be the color I want and everything to my spec. But the problem is the price. So I don't know. No. Up. $5,000.
Oh, okay. But that was supposed to be a 7.
Oh, it was about, a private stock would be about over $5,000. But it'd be a lifetime warranty.
Oh, if you were a guitar.
Yeah, that's why I haven't
the
done
phrasing
it.
of that's strange.
That's why I haven't done it, because I can't do that. Like
that's a gigantic pill to swallow.
Yep. Every time I look at it, I'm like, get one built, I'm going to keep it forever. And then I'm like, I know me. I'm not going to keep it forever.
You won't, no.
Because I love that color. It's a bolt neck, ebony fretboard. So the ebony wood is harder than any other wood. And so the fretboard where you're touching it, it's very fast because the strings just snap back at it. It's a very forgiving guitar to play. So that's all I would ever need. So every time I think about getting a private stock build, I'm like, yeah, but you're not even that good of a guitar player. So why even have a private stock build? So that one does all the shit I absolutely needed to do. 1999 album, Steve. We've already derailed.
Yep. So TLC's I'm Pretty, Destiny's Child, Bills.
But the album, The Writings on the Wall, is the name of the album.
I will not be able to help you with album titles. It's just telling me
that was the
title and artist, okay. And
the album's 99. That's why you had Goo Goo Dolls on there, because the single came out in 99, but the album was recorded at a different time. That's what happened.
If you want, songs and albums, like just music in 99, man. What do you want? Which, like, I'm trying to find Dandy Warhols from 1999. It's like, 13 Tales from Urban Bohemia, August 1st, 2000.
Urban Bohemia is the only Bohemia I want to be associated with.
Not Czechoslovakia?
Wait, Bohemia is
that is a region of Czech Republic.
Oh.
It just sounds cool, and then it's gotten morphed into modern hippiedom.
By the way, we need to have a Central European rock band called Prague Rock.
Prague. Are you going to save tonight, or to save yourself?
Eagle Eye Cherry and Oleander? No, Stabbing Westward.
Yeah, Stabbing Westward, goodness. Like, the more depressed he was, and better the music was with that one.
Yes.
I played the Ever-Living Kittens out of Wither Blister, Burn and Peel. But as time went on, he got happier, and, like, the music sucks, and then they just stopped.
Is that like Cake?
Yes. It's absolutely the Cake effect.
If I ever hear Short Skirt and Long Jacket one more time, I'm going to seppuku myself.
You're going to Sudoku yourself. That sounds puzzling.
I love Sudoku.
All right, Bob.
I had to teach Mr. Latowski how I do it and how to win it more often. I'm a fucking Sudoku master. I'm going back to Vegas this year. I can't wait till it reopens.
Pearl Jam with a 50s cover, Last Kiss. I never cared for that version of the song.
Thank you. I hate that version. I don't like I don't like any of it. I didn't like the way he did it. I mean, it wasn't bad.
I just don't like the way he sings this.
I mean, it wasn't terrible. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't my thing.
It's not terrible. It's just not good. Or just not my thing.
I feel the same way about Hurt from Johnny Cash. The cover. I just didn't like it. I understand people like it, but it's not for me, man.
It's no His Rusty Cage.
I didn't like that one either.
He just didn't like any of the 80-year-old Johnny Cash doing stuff.
No.
Hey, it at least brought the bands back into the spotlight in his last month. So
that's fair.
There's mad props for that, and I've heard worse covers of lesser songs.
Yeah. What else you got on that list, though, Esteban?
Vayamos, words to
Let
the
the
song.
rhythm take you out on Nolomabido.
Well, now you know what it's like to have to lose.
Whitey Ford Sings the Blues was 99?
Everlast, at least the single thereof.
That was 98. I think.
What can I say? We got Bleed Ever, bud.
Let's see here. I think it was 98. Stop fucking doing that. Released September 10th, 1998. I think specifically I was thinking we were going to do albums and not singles, but
I landed on this list, and there's still a lot more I can get wrong in that time.
I can go through a couple of mine in the meantime. Steve, the movie ran through me. The glamour subdued me. The opening 2 stanzas of this song. It's right outside your door. Now testify.
I have words.
Rage. Battle of Los Angeles.
Man, I played the hell out of that one.
1999.
But I don't understand this word for shit, though.
Here's one you would. Pay your servant very well to prevent the strains of aging. Firstborn unicorn. Hardcore. Soft porn. Dream of
Californication.
1999 from Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's hard to believe that
the tequila's working.
21 years ago that was released. That sucks like an airplane toilet. That sucks so fucking hard. Oh, you got plenty left. Cool. I'm going to pour me some more whiskey. Steve, I also have Chevelle's first ever album, Point Number 1. And it's okay. It's not that great, actually. But
this website's garbage.
And also, Buckcherry's self-titled album. And I'm not a big Buckcherry fan because I'm not a 13-year-old dirt bikeist.
Because you're not going to be all lit up again.
It's okay. It's just, it's like cock rock. It's okay. I have Moby Play.
There's a lot of these I know them by. This is all the Napster era, so
Yes,
I know
it is.
songs for songs, not songs for albums.
Yes.
Much like now, just forget it.
The Cranberries' Bury the Hatchet was in 99, and I don't remember if the Cranberries, because all the Cranberries songs I know, I think were mid-90s.
I gotta say, off of Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We, which was one of my opening lines when we started this podcast.
It was the first line of the podcast. But on that one, Zombie was on that one. Was Dreams?
Maybe I'm gonna say Linger was.
Linger was on that. I thought Linger was later. The Linger was on that one.
I've been wrong before, and I plan on being wrong again.
I also like Salvation.
I
like that one. Ode to My Family, I think, was on Bury the Hatchet. You remember Ode to Gosh, she has such a great voice. Rest in peace, Dolores O'Riordan. The good die young. Be an asshole and live forever. If the good die young, we're going to die tomorrow. You're a good dude. Cheers me.
Cheers you.
Yes.
Good. My crippling lack of self-esteem says otherwise. I'm not nice to myself.
Well, I think self-deprecating humor is good. But, look at me, Steve. You are a good dude. Everybody loves you that I know.
Yeah.
And that should matter for something. What else we got? We got Foo Fighters, Nothing Left to Lose. I can't name any song off of that 1999 album because it's not The Color in the Shake. Nothing left to lose.
Do not.
What was on that one? Ugh. What in the kittens is that shit? Matt Carney?
I'm not trusting his amusement ride.
Foo Fighters. I don't remember what was on that album. It was...
Sure, something you heard a bunch.
I would bet money on it. Breakout. Learn to Fly. Okay. All right. Yeah, Learn to Fly, Breakout, MIA, and that's the only ones I've heard on that album. But that's pretty good company. Not bad company. Who did not have
that would have been way earlier. Incubus, Make Yourself.
Make Yourself I Have.
Oh, man.
I played the shit
that.
out of that.
And then later discovered Science from 2 years before, which is even better.
Yep. And we cover Drive, but Stellar is awesome. By the way, the Mike Eisinger, the guitar player for Incubus, like they are really intricate in their arrangements for the music. You would never guess that it was that intricate of music, but the good rule of thumb is the band is much more intricate than you think they are if the singer doesn't play an instrument.
Yeah, it's just
Matchbox 20 is the same way. Like, I know you're not a big Matchbox 20 fan at all, but like the music itself there are songs that are way more intricate. But if the singer only has to sing, you don't have to worry about all that. You have to write the melody, which in itself is challenging, but it's a different thing. You want to hear one of the funny, or you go first? You go.
Blur 13.
That was on. Yeah.
The only two songs that ring a bell on here are Tinder and Coffee and TV.
Yeah.
Coffee and TV is fucking groovy.
Do you remember Jack at Night on 106.5? Jack at Night. All right, so
Jack Daniel. I thought it was so funny that the guy's name for booze.
Jack at Night had Blur, the singer for Blur, and I don't remember his name.
Damon Albarn.
Yep. He had him on for an interview.
He's my favorite gorilla.
He had him on for an interview one time, and he said he was so unpleasant that at 106.5 that all the Blur songs they had, which was one, they scratched song 2. They scratched out Blur and it put "Egotistical British Bastard" on
the tapes or whatever CDs.
Stained, Dysfunction.
Oh wow!
Yes, 1999.
Did that have that huge hit of theirs?
Outside?
Yeah, that. Because I kept hearing the version of him with Fred Durst, the live version, until I heard
the good one,
the studio version later. And it's like, well, this cleans up nicely.
It does, doesn't it?
I'm feeling those lighters.
Dysfunction had Mud Shovel on it.
That was a fun song. That is some.
Can't feel my God, you. Yeah,
that is some magnificent anger right there.
But Aaron Lewis is a turbo dickhead in person.
Let's see, Beck,
Spleen,
Midnight
Crawl,
Beck, Midnight Vultures.
Yep, had that one on there.
It's like I enjoy Beck, but the only one that stood out was Mellow Gold from '93 because early '90s and playing Loser until my ears fell off.
Devil's Haircut was on that one, wasn't it?
I think that was Odelay '97.
Odelay, that's right. Odelay had that, and I thought Loser was on Odelay.
No, Loser was the quintessential Mellow Gold track. That and the meth smoking neighbors upstairs.
Okay, so Odelay had Devil's Haircut and
New Pollution.
New Pollution's cool awesome.
And Devil's Haircut, I really enjoy that one.
I didn't even know that song existed until when I sold the Glasgow house, I was listening to the 90s channel, and I was painting the kitchen, and I was like, here's a song by Beck you haven't heard in a while. It was like, rolling. This is fucking awesome. It's like, I've listened to it on my phone back again.
Let's see. Something we've not heard enough is Godspeed You, Black Emperor, Slow Riot for New Zero Canada EP.
Didn't have that on here.
Nor Magnetic Field's 69 Love Songs. Snigger.
Nah.
Nice.
So, Steve, I have STP, number 4.
So it was after Tiny Music. That was still whinier Scott Weiland.
Who's your favorite Scott Weiland album?
Purple. Interstate Love Song beats every last other STP song.
It's the best one. That's that. If you want to get into STP, that, I don't know, Dead and Bloated.
Yeah, the opening to core. It's like the first two are just beyond.
Wait, number 4 has Down on it. You remember that one?
Yep.
I love Down.
Pleased to meet you. Glad to know me.
Yes. Also has Sex and Violence and, unfortunately, Sour Girl, which if you watch the video and put it on mute and then listen to some other music, isn't that bad because it has Sarah Michelle Gellar in it.
Buffy. Yeah. Are Your Intentions Cruel?
That, you know what the hottest part of that movie was? When her and, I don't remember the other girl's name.
I know who you're talking about. And
when they kissed and they let go, and that
like
little bit of... oh my God, that was Spank Bank material.
You dirty girls.
That was Spank Bank all day.
Whatever the opening song to that was pure trash.
I don't remember.
It was some whiny garbage. And I can't tell you what it was, because frankly, dear, I don't give a damn. Yeah, this thing's charged.
Opening song, Cruel Intentions. Every You, Every Me by Placebo.
Is what it sounds
but
like.
But Praise You was on there from Fatboy Slim.
Too bad it's not the Rockefeller Skank, which has been my favorite Fatboy Slim song forever, because I have no taste.
Oh my God! The album, the movie cover for Cruel Intentions. Sarah Michelle Gellar always looks better with dark hair.
Sarah Michelle Gellar always looks better than Reese Witherspoon. She looks like she ran into a shovel. I never was a fan.
Never have I wanted to fuck a shovel more. Mud shovel? Wait, that's if you go in the back. Wait, no. Steve, Dixie Chicks, Fly.
Let me guess, that had Earl.
Yeah. My pen broke. Wait, I didn't go to Pembroke.
By the way, don't. The other day, saw someone with an event shirt from Pembroke. Like, yeah, life's better in the broke. Like some sort of...
No, it's not.
ATV racing event. Like, this was some redneck bunch of bullshit.
Really?
And I think the verdict's still out if the Lumbee are, in fact, Native Americans or not.
Yeah, probably not. If they're really Native Americans, how come they don't have a casino? Royale. With cheese. Casino Royale with cheese would be a great band name. I'll write it down. I'll forget it, but...
Sure.
What else you got on that list?
I thought I was going to look up something else, and I'm wrong.
While you're looking at that, Steve, since Dixie Chicks' Fly is on there.
Natalie Maine did a cover of Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Who did?
One of the ladies from Dixie Chicks, Natalie Maines. I think she was the main singer.
The lead singer, yeah.
It was haunting. It was pretty rad.
Interesting.
Let's see. Do you have issues? And are they corny?
I have issues on here. And I know you don't like Korn as much as I do. You know why I like Korn so much? Because Jonathan Davis's lyrics are so dark and personal that it kind of resonates. Like, it's such a personal... What's funny is...
my buddy Josh I grew up with, who's now in the Navy and now back in Texas, was a huge Cornhead. But last I saw him, he also said, yeah, so I've also gotten big into Fallout Boy. Like, whatever you said ever is invalidated. That is the least cool thing ever. Yeah. And then I saw the Simpsons episode where Fall Out Boy, the comic character, is introduced. And they keep saying it, and I'm laughing my ass off because I hate that band so much.
The only Fall Out Boy song I like is Sugar We're Going Down. That's the only one.
That was the beginning of the end of them from the beginning.
By the way, there's a... Patrick Stump is the singer of Fall Out Boy. And by the way, when he's not singing...
Does he have all four limbs?
Yes. When he's not singing Fall Out Boy songs, it's actually good. There's a... have you ever seen Live from Daryl's House?
Once upon a yes. My future brother-in-law clued me into that.
Patrick Stump was on there, and he and...
Somewhere on my computer, allegedly, there's a lot of LFDH files. That's proven difficult to bootleg.
Patrick Stump and Daryl Hall did a cover of What Becomes of the Broken Hearted, and it's awesome. It's really, 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 really good. You should check that out.
My favorite Hall & Oates song is about cannibalism.
Oh, by the way, all right, so she's not going to listen to this, but our friend Kayla of Saucer and Trivia, I've unsubscribed from, but she posted something, and I almost posted, "Whoa, here she comes. She's a man hater," but I decided not to. There was something. It was 1 in 9 women have had an experience of being catcalled or something. It was like, so 1 in 9 men are rapists. I was like, wait a second.
That is going to obliterate every construction worker ever.
Yeah. If you're a construction worker and you can't call a woman that's walking down the street, yeah, you're creepy and you shouldn't do that, but you're not a rapist. So that goes back to our nuance argument. There's a nuanced opinion to things. You can be a garbage human being without being that kind of garbage human being. I digress. Steve, you want to hear a funny album title?
Evil thoughts better than evil actions.
Yeah.
That's our MO.
Steve, funny albums from 99. Bijou Phillips had an album called I'd Rather Eat Glass.
Does she get her pet supplies from Chewy.com?
Evidently. Ja Rule, Veni Vedi Vici. Holla, holla, anybody that's ready to get dollars. By the way, I was a basketball player too, so I heard a lot of these hip-hop songs.
Of it? All right. Funny, I've got 1999 music from NME.com. I unsubscribed from them on Facebook because it became the Gallagher brothers from Oasis still bickering site. It's like, I don't care. Well, you made 2 good albums and then you died.
Steve, I have... all right, I'll do a real one and then a funny one. Nothing Safe. The best of the box. What?
AIC.
Alice in Chains' greatest hits things.
The Folk Implosion, 1-part lullaby.
What?
I'm wondering if that was what brought you... I'm the one, not your one, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel me inside.
I thought that was 9 Inch Nails the first time I heard that.
I don't blame you.
I also have Slick Rick, The Art of Storytelling. Old school, late 80s, early 90s rapping. You remember Slick Rick?
Nope.
What? Slick Rick was awesome. Dusty Shear introduced me to Slick Rick when we played basketball together in high school.
I see that and raise you the Slim Shady LP.
I have that.
By Reese's Piece.
Hi, my name is.
What?
Kim was on that one. Kim was.
Dude, everything was on that.
Oh my God, that was
like,
awesome.
I'm not into rap, but he made this so entertaining and so dark and so fucked up before we knew any better.
That was such a good album. The song Kim, so long, bitch, you get me so wrong. That was such a good one. What else you got?
Somebody getting the wires crossed when it was "And You'll Know Us by the Trail of the Dead," Madonna. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
And
I was like, no, Towel of the Dead. It's like, that makes more sense. Like, I don't think Madonna would ever name something that. Never mind her 2002 James Bond theme makes you envy the deaf.
What was the name of that song? Or album? Song?
Die Another Day was the
Die
song from
Another Day.
the worst Bond film.
You Know My Name was good.
Oh, yes.
Speaking
that was getting
Euphoria
changed
Morning
over from Chris Cornell solo.
Have you heard a lot of the songs on that one?
No.
Have you heard Sun Shower?
Yes,
that's what this came
was
from.
The hit.
Roses, Ivy. Dark as roses, fine as sand, curl like ivy up my spine. That was what that was from.
I'm sorry, dude. That's on your arm.
That
spine tattoo, by the way, is going to hurt.
Well, that Soundgarden tattoo on the elbow wasn't as horrible as you would think it would be. That was the worst one. By far, bar none, USDA choice, first ballot Hall of Fame. The worst one is laying like this for 2 hours and then having your skin stabbed in your thin skin spot.
It's all thin skin with you, bud. Literally, not metaphorically.
But I do have thin skin. Not thick skin with Jeff Ross, which is awesome. Did you listen to the Andrew Dice Clay episode?
Nope. Like I said, falling behind in my podcasting, so that's the other one up there. And,
why do I pay you?
It was a loan, and I still owe you that too.
That's an open-ended loan. And it was a loan you didn't even ask for, so
there's that.
It's a very open-ended.
Yeah, much like what I'm going to owe Bob for the car. Whoops.
Well, I know where you live. I know where you sleep. It does not matter to me, sir. When things are comfortable and quiet, it is what it is.
Then it's too late.
Steve, I have Missy Elliott, The Real World. The Real World, not The Real World.
Will it stop hassling you?
That was 96. And I'm a bigger fan of them than you are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
going to make a cover band of theirs. It's going to be Hot Wheels 20.
I also have the Verve Pipe self-titled.
Whoa.
One song, one more hit than I have.
We were only a freshman? I thought that was earlier.
Toby hated that song.
It was totally okay.
I liked it.
And it was funny because that came out about the same time as the band The Verve.
Yes. And Steve, I also have Dr. Dre, The Chronic 2001.
Not to be confused with the initial Chronic from
1993. I would bet. I think it's from 92. Are you going to investigate it or should I?
I'm busy tracking down the Verve. Because it was the Verve Pipe and, all right, Bittersweet Symphony.
December 15th, 1992. The Chronic. And then the Chronic later was 2001 was 99. Fair. That's fair. I'm down, Steve, I'm down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm down to 8 albums, and one's an unplugged. What's the Unplugged in 99? It's a female.
Female.
Solo, not a band. Female solo artist.
So not Nelly Merchant with 10K Maniacs, because that was earlier.
I love 10,000 Maniacs. I like Natalie. I love her voice.
I couldn't understand what she was saying for the longest time. Like, Ganachi now, Ganachi now, Ganachi now, wow, wow. I was like, oh, she can't hurt you now.
Mm-hmm. Because the night belongs to lovers.
Because the night
And then
belongs to
Carnival is
us.
such a great song.
Yep.
I don't know where this came from, but it's... What is this?
My cousin married a lady that looks like her. That's the pin part.
From what?
Your pin had exploded.
Oh, yeah. Go away. I couldn't remember the pin exploding.
I got a feeling you will not be a fan of the Soft Bulletin by the Flaming Lips.
I can't get over She Don't Use Jelly. I can't get over that song.
Or Woodstock 99, Dave Matthews. Like, Woodstock 99's an entirely different can of worms.
And Dave Matthews is a different can of feces.
Somewhere recently, one of my Facebook memories popped up saying, Dave heads think I look like Dave. That was a weird night at the Saucer.
You do not look... No. You don't look like any celebrity.
Duncan Sheik, Justin Theroux, Dave Matthews. I'll take 2 out of 3.
I don't think you look like Duncan Sheik. Who do I look like?
I have said and will always say Chris Cornell.
That's on
particularly
purpose,
that
though.
Picture that I took of you when you first got your plate.
Oh yeah,
and you're like shouting next to it, and then like doing the crazy color form to it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. You're welcome, America.
Steve,
if somehow I look like Josh Homme, how did I get that ginger and that tall?
Well, that would be my former drummer that looks like Josh Homme.
Gene, I miss him.
Silverchair Neon Ballroom 99 had Anthem of the Year 2000 and Anna's song on it. I know you remember those.
Kind of, sort of, not as much as Frog Stomp anything.
Anna's song was that song because he had anorexia. So it was an Open Fire.
Just like on the previous episode, like anything Anna was like, that was my high school girlfriend that died of cancer.
Yeah. So after that, Nas, Nostradamus. That hip-hop album?
Yeah, it cracks me up every time that Sound Opinions, the rock and roll NPR show, does things outside the realm. Like, oh, here's blah, blah, blah rap. Like, that's not the right fucking album, you dinosaurs.
Here's a good humorous one. Turbo Negro, Apocalypse Dudes.
Have you heard anything of theirs?
No.
It's insane.
Norwegian Death Punk.
By the way, everybody, sell your body to the night. I couldn't even tell you if it's on that or not, but they don't suck. But it is completely bonkers bullshit. They make Wolfmother or The Darkness seem like Matchbox 19.
So the Unplugged album I had was Alanis Morissette Unplugged from 99.
I would have never landed on that.
I didn't know until I knew. Garth Brooks, Chris Gaines.
You ought to know.
Garth Brooks, Chris Gaines was 19. It was supposed to be his Australian alter ego.
Much like back in the day, celebrities would do ads in Asia to not belittle their American persona. Like, hey man, money's money.
Money is money. And Steve, we have Slipknot's self-titled album in 99.
Oh, snap.
Yes. The whole thing I think is sick.
the original Mask Wearers.
Fuck you, Mushroom Head. That one had such good songs.
Oh,
on
wait,
it.
I was getting them mixed up with Zebrahead. But that had Playmate of the Year with a wonderful X-rated video.
Yes. I have 2 albums left on my 1999 best of. One is funny as fuck, and the other one is, oh, of course that's 1999. The first one is ludicrous. Incognito. The other one is Will Smith's album.
Millennium. Did that happen to suffer the Wild Wild West theme song?
No, thank goodness. It had Getting Jiggy with it.
Na 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 na. High School Dancing's gonna suck.
To
na
which
na 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 na.
T-shirt Hell has a shirt that says, "I'm not getting jiggy. I have Parkinson's."
Way to shake things up.
That's really foxy of you to say that. I think that's all the albums I have for 19. There was a lot more albums.
What's your stance on The Big Bang Theory?
The theory or the show?
The show.
It's way too nerdy. It strikes me as the type of show that would interest people who really like Star Wars, whom I have a lot of friends who like Star Wars.
Oh, hi, Yesterday.
But it's not my thing. And it's Force, by the way. Not with a TH. Unless you have a lisp.
Play with it.
Sorry.
Never mind, the movie was released May 20-something.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd appeared on an episode as a hobo and was hilarious at it.
Okay.
But he was reprising his role from Taxi when he's the transient acid casualty reverend. And him pushing 80 made it all the funnier.
I can't believe he's that old. I also can't believe we haven't drank as many beers as we normally do, but we've had a lot of liquor.
It's wheat beer, strong beer, liquor.
You are
I'm
nursing it a lot more than normal.
Pacing to...
Who is this guy? I don't know this guy. Normally he's kicking it back faster than me.
Hi, I'm old. Who are you?
You're not that much older than me.
Kaylin's birthday's in 3 weeks. She's thrilled and not thrilled at the same time. But she did get the day off of work.
3? Yeah, but if...
We're a young looking...
Well, I was going to say...
Elder 30-somethings.
If she came up to me and I did not know her and she goes, "Hi, I'm Kaylin and I'm 27. I'd be like, cool. If you would come up to me and go, "Hi, I'm Steve and I'm 33. I'd be like, cool. And I'm sure if I went, "Hey, Steve, I'm AJ and I'm 28. You would say,
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And you know what the common theme in all this is?
Drink more. It preserves you.
1. What's number 2?
No squidoos.
Absolutely. Yep.
And especially nowadays, like, you got to put extra effort into that shit.
How many people have you seen?
Everyone became homeschoolers in a hurry.
How many people have you seen
without having to be crazy for it?
Oh, how many of our friends have sung the joys of parenthood lately? None? Super. You know what's weird? 2 people in 1986 had sex, and now I have to pay bills. That doesn't seem fair, does it? I didn't ask for any of that. Somebody actually sued their parents for not...
Technically, that'd be 1985. Because you having a February birthday.
Yeah. Well, that's fair, too.
Mine would have very well fallen into 1981, and that's just getting a little too real.
Steve was born on Thanksgiving Day in 1981. And who was the president in 1981?
The Gipper. Mr. Alzheimer's himself.
Who was the president when I was born in February of 1986?
Even Alzheimer.
Even more, he took Alzheimer's to the next level, which means Nancy was running the country.
Did you listen to that double dollop?
No. I do like sour cream, though.
Let's just hope you still like sour cream after listening to all that.
Oh?
It's properly fucked. It won't be surprised. If you have anything GE in your house, please discard it.
I'll take that into account. Steve, we are 2 hours and 5 minutes in, and we actually recorded the entire episode this time.
No power links and no false recordings. Everything's fine and good.
That's true. Well, it's still pretty early. It's 7:07. You should get a good night's sleep tonight.
My anxiety always runs strong on Tuesday nights because I gotta be up by 5 to hit the road by 5:20:30 to get there at 6. And effective today, they're instituting temperature checks upon getting punched in at work.
They are thinking about doing that with us.
They're
also
actually, looking out for people's health in the midst of all this nonsense. I've been given 2 masks there.
Did I tell you what I did?
Nope.
Sent an anonymous email to our president of the company.
Mr. Hayes?
Nope. Mrs. Ham. And I explained to her how I did not feel like a valued associate. You guys are putting profits over people, and none of us feel safe. By the way, she's actually super nice. I've met her in person. But of all the people to email, I figured she was the one to get to the point.
To hopefully get something done.
Yes.
Your store never made any adjustments to hours during the midst of all this, much like the competition has, and also, mandating X number of carts in store, or yay few people in store, or mandatory masks for associates or customers.
I'll learn more tomorrow.
Which apparently is getting people shot at Family Dollar and getting just people angry at Costco.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
They haven't limited the people in the store, and they should, because routinely there have been...
enough, the 1UP218 does. At least there's a number posted. I don't think anyone's keeping count, but...
There's a number posted on our door, but nobody's keeping count also. They need to limit the stores to 25 people in the store at a time. I'm sorry if that inconveniences you, but... whatevs. But I did send that email.
I miss my manager special sirloins on the cheap. Hell, I miss sirloins.
Well, you can still apply, and I can give you... I understand. Steve, I think we're done with this episode. I'm almost out of booze. You're basically out of booze.
Finally there.
That's the solution. We need to have higher grab all the time. Right?
Sure.
Burgers tonight still?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well,
yeah, you're making Jersey Mike's tacos, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's funny. It's like, we're getting subs. You're not getting tacos. Like, today would feel more appropriate being 5. Mai.
I think it's the first Tuesday of every month at Jersey Mike's. They donate all their proceeds to cancer, something like that.
Okay.
So Emily likes to do that the first Tuesday. So number 61 should probably be next Thursday. Is it the better day or Sunday?
At least Sunday.
Sunday's Mother's Day.
Do any? Somewhere in there, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, usually by the end of the double whammy long days, I really would not care to do anything. It's on par with the old days of print shop, then valet, and then coming here. Like, I'm dead. That's why the early episodes, I'm extra draggy instead of normal draggy.
I will say that the episodes where, I'd say the last 10 episodes where you haven't had to do that you've been much more you instead of 80% you. You're still you. They're not going to notice.
80 aims high.
But I do.
Especially on video. It's like, what?
I forget this is even running. I forget it's even running most times.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Well, I think 60's done. We've done 60 of these. That's hard to believe.
Time flies. You're having
fun.
Yeah, that too.
We're having fun. You still having fun doing this?
I got my moments.
Me too. Episode 60's done. 61 will be next week. So, happy Cinco de Mayo. Toodaloo. Don't take wooden nickels.
I'd say Feliz Navipod, but that's someone else's show.
Have you seen the for lease numbers on the interstate? It says for lease, and then people spray paint Navidad on it.
Feliz Navidad.
Prospero
Feliz Navidad.
Año y felicidad. Well, I'm AJ. For Steve,
I gotta pee.
Steve's got to pee. Bye. See you in 61 next week.